you hear about that?
One he asked about the Buddha. Was he always born a man? And the other one is that was he always born in India? What do you think? Well, I don't know. But what I do know is that the last historic Buddha, Gautama the Buddha, was born in India, and that he was a man. That is what that I know. Let us see whether you all know something or not. If you know something more, please share. Anybody wants to contribute? Yes. He asked whether Buddha was always a man. Is that right? Your question? No. No. And he asked the question that Gautama the Buddha, in his past life, is it? Oh, in his past life, he was born in various forms, And I thought you asked about the Buddha. And Gautama the Buddha, before he became the all-enlightened Buddha, he was as a bodhisattva who strived to become the all-enlightened being. And he had taken various forms in many stories where he was not only born as human being, he was born as animals, and as a monkey, as what else? Quail, bird, and as a deer, and many forms. These you can find in the Jataka stories. And also, of course, he was born after he has practiced his perfections more and more. Then he started to be born in more wealthy families, and then when he grew up, he realized the nature of the unsatisfactoriness, and he gave up his material wealth like that. So, in the past, the Buddha was born in various, and not only, eventually his last life, he was up in the Tusita heaven. Tusita heaven. See? And in the Tusita heaven remained there a long time, very long time, waiting for the right condition to be born for his last birth. Like that. So, in India, why in India? I think there are, if we have traveled in various parts of the world, and if you have been in India, you will get an idea that I think there is nowhere in the world that you can see so much of contrast between the haves and the have-not. The poor are really poor, the rich are really rich, like that, And also, the culture of the people. This culture do not die quickly. It is in the people, Although they may be sometimes After 1, 2 generations, they may forget about their religious life, their cultural heritage. But again, deep down in them, there is this cultural heritage. In other words, the karmic past, you see. And still you find in India, they have all the freedom, no? of to lead a religious life. All kinds of religious kind of life you can find in India. And you have the freedom to do that. This you cannot find in all the places in the world like that. Although some places you can find a little bit more freedom. Not only that, the people sort of recognize the religious life in India. And because they have the text, they have the scriptures, they support that kind of life. Like if you walk in India like this, especially in India, you walk like this, then they may not want to see you for a second time, like, very common like that. It's very common to have this way of life to them. But if you walk in different places, in some other countries, then people will turn and you become the center of attraction. This is where. And also, there's another thing. After I had visited the Buddhist holy places in India several times, I observed how many people go and visit these places where the Buddha was born. And many of them go back again and again. And from various parts of the world, they converge, they go there and visit. Like there is and if you really go there, you see that place, the vibration is different. Like the place where the Buddha gained his enlightenment in Buddha Gaya. Truly, if you can stay and not just a quick visit, but if you can stay for a little while and meditate and calm down yourself there, and you find there is a lot of energy vibrant. Like you can get that kind of inspiration from there. And so people go there, religious, those people who have faith, who have confidence, converge to that point, and it stay in their mind. Stay in their mind. The experience in India stay in their mind. So if they are sometimes, and if they die with this thought in their mind, so you know where they are going to be born. And slowly the place is developing. It's becoming very international now. There are all kinds of monasteries, all different groups, monasteries, there are there in Buddha Gaya. You have Chinese, you have what you call Sri Lankans, you have Tibetan, you have and Bangladesh, I think new one coming up, I think. And various groups are represented there. And slowly improving. How many of you have been to India, to the Buddhist holy places? Hands up. One. Oh, not so many. Two. Okay. Oh, not so many, because one group will be coming back. I think tomorrow. Is that right? Tomorrow one group will be coming back. If you have opportunity, you should go. And if you go, you should have confidence and have the faith. And by thinking that when you go to the place where the Buddha gained enlightenment, you should think in your mind, this is the place where the Buddha gained his enlightenment. And you contemplate again and again, and then you get the inspiration. And then Because people's minds converge to one place. So people who have that kind of goal, that kind of aim in life, they converge to that one place like that. And that is how sometimes, they can be born in that place. After all, in the long run of samsara, we have been born in various places. Some places have greener pastures. In other words, some places are good for material cultivation, material things. Some places are better for spiritual cultivation. And when you want to study, if you want to study for engineering or law, then you will try to find a place or university in whichever country that is well known for it. And then if you are able to, if you can afford, you will send your children to those countries, to that kind of university well known. So you will search and look out for places where suitable you can be trained in that manner. So also, when we want to seek the truth, we will also look for certain places where we will go on here and there until eventually we will converge to one point where the right place like this for us to develop. And then if we stay there for a long time, and if there is a lot of sun, a lot of this thing, then our skin will become darker and darker like that. So sometimes we can change. In the long run of samsara, we can change our skin many times. And when I was in Nepal, and usually at that time, during the time of the Buddha, if people don't travel so widely, their minds, they are only used to going to a certain region. They move around, not so far away. And so their minds cling to those places. And so rebirth takes place in those places. But now, with this modern era of traveling, rapid traveling, you can travel anywhere. And so your mind, sometimes you have affinity for a certain place. You have affinity for a certain place and you cling to that place. And if the last thought happens, that you have the desire to visit, to go to this place, that last thought, you can condition the last thought, and you can be reborn in those places like that. So when I was in Nepal, I've heard of quite a few places where the Bodhisattva was born, and they can tell you which place around there. Because actually Nepal was, during that time, Greater India at that time. So the Buddha was born. Only thing is that evidences, there are some evidence, records, shows that there are quite a few places around the same region like that, not too far away like that. Okay, right? Any next question? What is laziness in Buddhist? From the Buddhist point of view, I do not know from other point of view, right? There can be various interpretations about that. But from Buddhist point of view, let us say, what is laziness? That's right. When you do not put in the right effort, that's how we consider laziness. Now what are right effort? What are the right effort? Come, you have learned these things, at least the novices and the upasikas. First, how many kinds of right effort are there? Hands up. You know 4. what is the first kind of effort? The effort to avoid try to prevent, the effort to prevent unwholesome thoughts from arising in the mind. That's the first effort. Second one, yes. Huh? Wholesome or unwholesome? That's right. When some bad thoughts, some unwholesome thoughts has arisen in the mind, then you need effort to overcome it. You need another effort to overcome it, to get rid of it. These are the two kinds of effort with regards to the avoidance of evil, to prevent and to overcome evil thoughts from arising in the mind. Right? The third effort, yes, to develop the unarisen wholesome states of mind. Okay, next one. The same, you say, to develop the good things that are not in the mind. There is one more. Yes? Who? No, she said already. Two? One more. When there are something good already, you have to maintain, yes. To maintain the good that is already there. Very good attempt, you know. And these are the four kinds of right effort. And please remember this. Remember this well. All should remember this well to overcome your laziness. First one is the effort to prevent unwholesome thoughts from arising in the mind. Then second one is, if you cannot prevent, if you do not have sufficient mindfulness and awareness to prevent, it crops in, it comes in, and then unwholesome thoughts already there in the mind. So you must know how to overcome it, And then the third one is the goodness. When you have some goodness in you, you should know how to maintain that goodness. And when you realize that there are certain good qualities, certain good thoughts that do not appear in your mind, you do not have those good thoughts in your mind, so you should try to develop the good thoughts in your mind. This is how we use effort, these efforts. When we talk about effort, we first talk about the effort mental energy. They are mental. They are the mental attributes. And it is only through right effort that we can overcome one mental hindrance, one very common mental hindrance. What is that? Sloth and torpor of the mind. It is when sloth and torpor arises in the mind that laziness conditions laziness. So, if we want to know what laziness is about, we must understand firstly what are its characteristics, and then what conditions, what is the cause of that laziness. What is the cause of it? When the mind has sloth and torpor, the mind just refuses to think. Huh? The mind becomes dull, becomes bored, huh? And then the laziness comes. And you know how the Buddha defined this laziness? Can you remember in which place how the Buddha defined a lazy person? What is the characteristic of a lazy person? Looks like all of you are very hardworking, huh? No lazy fellows here? I think you should know. What is that? What is the mark? What is the mark? What is the characteristic of laziness? Huh? Yes? Huh? Fond of sleeping. That's only one. Yes? B? Sorry? No initiative. Yes, as a result of that, yes, partly. And but how do you now, suppose now, you want to employ somebody, or you want to get somebody to work for you, and you interview, you call that person, you see that person to come to your house, and you want to see, and what are the things that you look for? How do you know he is hardworking, and how do you know he is lazy? In other words, this is what is meant by what are the characteristics of the lazy fellow. Yes? They are slow in their action. You know, I see you all walk so slowly after your chanting. All of you must be very lazy then. If you say that, only slow in action, then all the people will say, you're very lazy. No, that is not the characteristic. Go, come on, try again. Yes. Talk a lot and little action. And sometimes lazy fellows don't want to talk also, you know. They are even lazy to talk also. Huh? Still you do not know the characteristic, yes? Yes? Not mindful. Yes? Yes? Yes. Right. Yes. Right. But can you be more direct? You have got it already, you know. Now, please don't try to think very hard for the answer. Just apply it to yourself only, yes.
I think a lazy person can put up himself.
Very good, you know, huh? When sometimes you feel lazy, you know, you postpone your work like that, right? Huh? You postpone your work. But you always, lazy people always know how to find excuses like that. And you know what the Buddha said? Please learn this one carefully. Then you can know who is a lazy person. Buddha said like this. A lazy person is one who will find excuses not to do any work. Now, when it is raining, when it is wet, he will say, you know, it is wet, so rain, heavy rain, how can I come to temple? He doesn't want to come for the Friday night session, but he says, you know, it is so wet. No? And if it is dry, you know, he says, it is hot, very warm, too dry. If it is hot, he says very hot, cannot work. And when it cold, turn on the switch on the air condition for some time, he says, too cold, cannot work, must go out. And go outside, it is very hot outside, cannot work outside. And then, after he comes from home, after a little while he feels hungry. And he said, oh, I'm hungry, I cannot work. And then the boss says, okay, in that case, come, let's go to a restaurant. Take them to a restaurant or, to the hawker center and eat. Then come back to the office. And then he feels sleepy and drowsy. Says, why? Can you do this piece of work? Oh, now too full now. Cannot work. You see, this is the mark of a lazy person. He doesn't want to do work. And he finds all kinds of excuses. If it is hot, he says it is hot, he cannot work. If it is cold, he says cold, cannot work. If it is hungry, he says hungry, cannot work. When full, also cannot work. Like that. So, in any way, he can find excuses. This is the mark of the lazy person. Now you know, because I think you all are very hardworking people. You don't put off. You are determined to go on like this. Even rain also you come. Even when you look at the clouds threatening, you say, never mind, I must come, like that. You see, you have, this is what you call diligence, hard working. You have diligence. But you should know the qualities of laziness too. And because the Buddha advised us, we should avoid the company of those who are lazy. If we join them, we too will become like them. Right or not? If you see one person sleep, you also feel like sleeping. If you see 2 or 3 persons sleep, you find more excuse for sleeping because, when you see where he is sleeping, he also sleeping, I also can sleep, like that. This is lazy fellow, excuses. So, now you understand what laziness is about. The mark of laziness. Where do you find this discourse? This discourse is given in the Sigalovada Sutta. In the Sigalovada Sutta. You forgot about this. That the Buddha, when the Buddha tells, there are 6 kinds of, there are 6 causes of downfall in life. Do you know the 6 causes of downfall in life? Everybody in this world, I think all of you want to prosper in life, want to become successful in life. If we want to become successful in life, we should know what are the causes, what are the things that lead us to downfall, so that we can avoid those causes of downfall in life. And what are these causes of downfall? Anybody knows? 1. If you do not know this thing, you may fall, Yes? Two? Yes? I know, but what is it? To associate with those who are drunkard? Don't indulge. Yes, that's right. Good. To become drunk or, drunkenness. Drinking. Drinking, indulging in intoxicants. Indulging in intoxicants. That is first cause of downfall. You can reflect and you can look around and you can see whether it is true or not. You don't have to go very far. Just look around your family member. But if you find one, don't be sad, because actually there are a lot of others, Only thing you want to test this Dhamma, look around and you will find and see whether it is true or not. And those who drink and who are in the habit of drinking and becoming drunk, and whatever wealth that they have acquired, these wealth can easily drain away. That is first cause of downfall in life. Second one. Yes. Oh, very good. Gambling. It's what the Buddha said too. Gambling. The second cause of downfall in life. And when you get in the habit of gambling and you associate with gamblers, overnight, I have known how businesses, big buildings, skyscrapers, buildings, exchange hands overnight. Through what? Through gambling. Big stakes, the cause of downfall in one's life. Some more? Go on. Yes. Sexual misconduct. It has something to do. That means, those who always indulge in, say, womanizing. But not only womanizing, now you have to include manizing too. So either womanizing or manizing, right? And that is also the cause of one's downfall in life. Yes. There's 3 already. Some more. Oh, drug addict is included in that intoxicants, right? That drinking, drunkard, because even you take drug also you can become drunk. No? That's what we call intoxicants. That is the nature of intoxicants. Yes? So far we have got one is the indulging in intoxicants. First one. 2, gambling. Indulgence in gambling. 3, what? Womanizing or manizing. Next one?
Violence.
Yes?
Not overspending excessive sensual items.
Do not overspend. Yes, that is also one of the cause of downfall, right? And what you call not balanced livelihood like that, right? That can be one of the cause too. Now, what others can you think of? Yes. This thing that people do, very common one. Loitering in the streets at at unseemly times. Like, you have nothing to do, you go around to the corner of the streets and just stand there. I do not know what you do, you chit-chat and then you walk. Now midnight already, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, still you are found in the corners of streets counting lampposts. Do you do that? Now that is also a cause of one's downfall. The Buddha gave reasons for this, gave what are the consequences. And why, when you loiter in the streets, and what happens? Because if there is something, there's crime committed around that area, near the house where you used to loiter, then even though you have not done the crime, people can suspect you and you can be accused of that crime. You can spend all your money for court cases to show that you are innocent. Of course you say, I have not done anything wrong, but that habit can bring about your downfall. These are what you call bad habits. Loitering in the streets at unseemly times. Some more, yes. What? Greediness. Yes, that can be a cause too. Yes. And clinging. Clinging to what? All these are greed, all these are clinging to various kinds of bad habits. Now, what are the most specific kinds of bad habits you have? Things like this. If you are not here, what do you do? That is also what the Buddha said, no? Of course, during the time of the Buddha, there were no televisions. There were no video and television. What the Buddha said was, those people who are in the habit of watching theatrical shows, theatrical shows? Still, during the time of the Buddha, no this kind of movies and videos, but they had stage shows. And those people who are addicted to go and see, every time they will go and see. And then after that, when they see one, like you see a movie, after you have seen a movie, and then you want to see another one. And if you indulge in that one too, you will ask, every time your mind asks, what is the next show? What is the next program? And now that people have television and video, so now you can easily become addicted to video, television. Your children postpone doing their homework. Because of what? Because of the television program. Good program. So they say, postpone doing the homework. And then they watch that program. And after that program, have another program, better program like that. And then they also watch until that. And then in the end, their eyes very tired already. Have to go to sleep. So they tell themselves, never mind, tomorrow I get up early to do my homework. Like that. And then tomorrow they oversleep. So they take the book, quickly they go and telephone somebody and copy homework. And also, these are the things that when we get addicted to, habits. These are habits. They are not immoral. They are not immoral. You cannot say just watching television is wrong. But it can lead you to downfall if you cling it, and if that becomes your habit, then you will tend to neglect your duties, your responsibilities. And there are certain things, even some important calls come to give you business, but you have good Cantonese program going on. You cannot miss that one. So sometimes you miss your clients, your customers miss because of that. So this is what the Buddha says. Every time, if you have this habit again and again, when one day, if you don't have your television, video, your mind will be thinking, where can I go? But you do not have this kind of very bad habit, because now at least Friday night you can cut off. Today you miss your good program. Is there any good program? Maybe no good program, that's why you come here. I do not know whether there is good program or not. So there is another one. So far how many? 5, the Buddha mentioned. One more. Already mentioned already, yes? Indebted. That is one of the gambling and other things can lead you to that. No, this one already we discussed about bad association. Wrong association with wrong company, and with the company of idle people. Idleness, in other words. When you are lazy, that is the cause of downfall. These are the six causes of downfall in one's life. The Buddha mentioned this in the Sigala Sutta. Can you remember again? First one? Yes, indulging in intoxicants. 2, gambling. 3, womanizing or manizing. Yes. 4, 3, loitering in streets. Loitering in the streets in late hours of the night. Not in the early hours, late hours of the night. Next one. When? Yes. Not watching shows only, but like in the habit of indulging in theatrical shows, or the Buddha says indulging in theatrical shows, but we can say too much indulgence in your television and video like that. Then we don't say, Buddha didn't say, we don't say to give up, don't see television, don't see video, but just you must know, you must have the control like that, so that you don't get addicted to that. If you get addicted, if you allow yourself to get addicted to that. Of course, nowadays there are more causes, of downfall, addicted to computer games too. Everywhere I go, little children, play computer games. Okay. And then, habits of idleness. These are the 6 causes of downfall in life. Please take note that in your mind. Take that note in your mind. And if you want to be successful, you should avoid that. The Buddha said, there are certain conditions that can make you prosperous. During the time of the Buddha, there was one Brahmin, one man. He did not want to become a monk. He saw the disciples of the Buddha, but he did not want to become a monk because he is married and he has got children, and he liked to use good clothes. and perfumes and all that. So he approached the Buddha and he asked the Buddha, "Venerable Sir," he says, "I do not wish to become a monk. I do not wish to give up all my luxuries. I would like to enjoy my life in this lifetime. And in my next life also I want to be happy. I want to enjoy my next life too. Can you tell me how? Can you advise me how?" Do you know how? This man's name was Vigajano. And then the Buddha said, "Yes." Then the Buddha explained to him how he can be successful in this lifetime. He can be materially successful. And then in the next life, he can also succeed. He can also be happy. In other words, spiritual progress. He can have both material progress and spiritual progress. Now, what is the cause? What are the causes? What are the conditions necessary for material progress? Yes. Oh, very good. You are very near to that lazy one. So, you work hard. That is the first condition, the Buddha said. Uttana sampada, the accomplishment of effort, of perseverance. Here it means in whatever trade, in whatever profession that you are in, you should be skillful in that trade. You should be skillful in that profession. You should work hard. Now after you have worked hard and you have acquired a lot of money, a lot of wealth, what do you do now? What are the other conditions? Yes. You must know how to keep them. How to be thrifty. Yes. Yes. You must know how to look after them. In other words, you must know how to look after them. Thrifty is good to yourself, but not to others. If you are thrifty to others, then we use another word, is stingy. You should be thrifty. You should, for yourself, you should be simple. Use minimum so that you can share to others like that. And but here the Buddha used this term. Buddha said, arakka sampada. Arakka sampada means to be watchful. To be watchful. Whatever things that you have earned, you should know how to look after it well. And then the Buddha further explains, elaborates in such a way that water will not wash it away. In other words, flood will not take it away. Fire will not burn it. The wind will not blow it away. King will not confiscate it. This is how we understand this way. To be watchful, to look after what you have earned. The money, the income that you have righteously earned, the wealth that you have righteously earned, you should look after it in such a way that fire don't burn, water don't take it away, king don't confiscate it, like that. This teaching is very good for our insurance people, Then they will say, you see, you can insure us, Even if you fire burn, we pay you. Like that. So, this is what the prudent We have to look after. Now, some people, when they practice Buddhism, they think Buddhism means not to be attached, no non-attachment. And so their wealth, all their valuables, they just put here and there. They come back with money, they leave the money here and there. And then, when their parents find it, and they say, parents tell them, to put things in proper places, they say, don't be attached. You must practice Buddhism, don't be attached. No, that's not the way. That's not the way. If you should know how to look after it, so that if you have more, you can give, you can share what you have with others. But don't simply, because sometimes you put in certain places, you cannot remember it too. We must know how to look after it. That is the second condition for material progress. The third condition. Now just imagine now that you have a lot of money now. You have a lot of wealth. And how can you maintain that wealth? What are the other conditions necessary for you to maintain that wealth? The first we have already said, to work hard so that you can get more wealth. Second, we say that you should look after it well. Third, invest wisely. Yes. To invest wisely, to use wisely. You need to have good friends, good company. Good friends, good company is important. If you don't have good friends, if you have bad company, you join bad companions. All the money that you have earned can easily be drained away. Again you come back. Who are those people? Your bad company. Those who? The drunkard, the gambler, the swindler. These are all to be understood as the bad company. You should avoid them. And you should have good company. Good company. So that is the third condition. Good association. Kalyana mittata. Sometimes when you are not mindful, and when you are not mindful, you do not know how to look after your property. They come and they counsel you, they remind you, they make you aware of this. This is how we understand the good friend. And another condition, somebody has already mentioned just now about income or expenditure should not exceed your income. In other words, to lead a balanced life. Samma jivitasa. That means you should not spend too much. If according to what you can afford, you do that. And this is how the Buddha's advise the people how they can budget their daily, what they earn, how they can spend wisely. Buddha advice. Whatever things that you earn, if you can divide it into 4 parts. One part you spend for yourself. 2 parts to investment. Invest again, like that. And the 4th part, you have little bit of saving for the rainy day. Because your investment can just, and at least you have something you save there. You have something, you have some saving like that. This is the ideal, ideal, how the Buddha advised the things. And if you follow this advice, if you can follow this advice, this is how you can maintain your wealth here and now. And you can accumulate and become more wealthy. Please don't think that Buddhists must be poor people. No. Buddhists can be rich too. If you know the right way of the righteous way of earning your wealth without hurting, without harming others, like that. These are the 4 conditions which lead to material progress, worldly progress. Can you remember them again? What are they? 1, work hard or perseverance. 2, to be watchful or look after what you have righteously earned. 3, good friends, good association. 4, balanced livelihood. Income and expenditure must balance. So that you can be free from debt. Like that. So these are the 4 conditions which lead to material progress here and now in this lifetime. Then what about the next life? Because this man, he said he wants to enjoy next life also, not only this life. He wants to enjoy next life. So if you want to enjoy next life, there are certain conditions that you must prepare yourself. What are these conditions? Also 4. 1, very good. Dana. Dana means what? Generosity, liberality, giving. It is because of what you have given in the past that you are able to receive. You have in this lifetime. This is what you call the law of karma, the law of cause and effect. What you give in this lifetime, if you give, you know how to give, you receive. That is the result of giving. Okay, first, dana. Second one, sila, right? Right. When you observe sila, you observe a lot of sila and make you wealthy in your next life. You can enjoy in your next life. Why? Do you know the advantages of sila? When you practice sila, what do you get? You have the first advantage, the Buddha says, is you have large fortune. Do you believe in it? Some people say that, how? Observing sila means you lead a good way of life. You have virtues in you. You don't cheat, you don't lie. But many people think if we don't cheat, how can we get rich? People think that if we are virtuous, how can we get rich? No, the Buddha says, that is the right way to get rich. We can see how. Now look, when we are born and when we are young at home, if we have virtues, what are the important virtues to cultivate when we are young? We should have obedience, like we should listen to our parents. And we should be respectful to our elders. And if we have these good qualities, we are honest, we are kind to our brothers and sisters. When we have these good qualities, naturally the parents will love you. When they love you, They have confidence in you. They have trust in you. When you grow up, then they can give you, they can hand over their inheritance, more inheritance can hand over to you because they trust you. That's how you can become, you can have large fortune like this. Not only that, this is from the home. When you go to school, what are the important virtues that you should cultivate when you are at school? Again, you should be hard-working. You should do your lessons, learn your lessons well. And you know how to respect your teachers. And you know how to carry out instructions. And you are friendly to others. You are not jealous, you are honest, you are kind. Then your teacher will naturally love you. When your teacher loves you, your teacher will look after you better, like that. And then will teach you better, will make you understand your lessons better, so that you can pass your examination. And then when they pass examination, because you are good character, they give you good testimonial. With good testimonial, they recommend you to their friends, they recommend you to other places so that you can find job easily. When you can find job, when you leave school, you work. And if you are honest, you are trustworthy, you are kind, you are virtuous, people come to know you, you have good reputation, you get good promotion and you hold responsible position. People have trust in you. And that is how you climb up in life the right way, not the wrong way. You climb up in the right way and you are happy, you have peace of mind, like that. So you see, it is possible and it is the only way if we want to have good fortune the right way, we should have sila. Like that. So by your practicing sila, this will condition you, and in your next life you become very respectful, very kind, very honest, and that you will be loved by others. You will be lovable. People will like you. And then you will be able to prosper be happy in your next life too. Next one, another condition for your next life. Now, dana one, sila, what else? For next life one, you must have bhavana. Yes, bhavana is where actually there's one element of any more? Yes? Karma, good karma. Good karma is this. When you have dana, you perform good karma. If you practice sila, leads you to good karma too. That's right. What else? The conditions for next life. Yes? Metta. Good also, Buddha said you should have saddha, no? You should have confidence in good action, like that. And that will lead you. When you have confidence in moral, spiritual values, it will lead you. You have energy, and you have confidence. It will lead you to have good life. And one more, fourth one is wisdom. To develop wisdom. This is where, when you listen to Dhamma, when you practice Dhamma, and you understand the law of cause and effect. Good begets good, evil begets evil. This is how you develop your wisdom, mundane wisdom. Because when you avoid evil, you do good. Then this is how we can have better life, good life, like that. So these are the conditions that will lead you to spiritual progress. Spiritual progress. You have faith, you have confidence in moral spiritual values, and you have sila, you have restraint in your speech and action, and you know how to share what you have with others, and then you develop your wisdom. These conditions help you to have a good, happy life in the next life too, hereafter. So this is how the Buddha explained. You can have progress, you can enjoy this life, you can also enjoy in the next life, whatever you want. So now you understand those conditions. Please remember these conditions so that you can try to practice. When you can allow these conditions to come up, then you can see the success. Then you can see the results of it. Right. Now, any other questions? So far, we talk about these are what you call Dhamma for the world, to lead, to be happy in this world, to have progress in this world. We need to firstly know what are the things that lead us to downfall. Do you know? These are the 6 causes of downfall in life. So please remember the 6 causes of downfall so that you can avoid them. Then, in another discourse, the Buddha talked about the conditions necessary for material progress and the conditions necessary for spiritual progress. And this is what we have learned so far tonight. Now, do you have any questions? We can still have a little time for questions. Our spiritual life. Tonight, we talk more about how we can succeed, how we can progress here and now in this life. Not only in this life, in the next life too. We can have balance like this. Yes. Any question? Oh, I see. Very good. Good question. How do we become aware of our ego? The ego talking, is it? How do you become aware of it? Do you know first what is this ego? When we talk about this ego, we talk about this I. Have you come across some people, when you talk to them, and then they tell you, say, oh, this temple, and this temple, very big, and then they tell you, yes, I helped it to become big. You know the temple? I was the one who built it. What about that one pagoda? Oh, that one also, I helped that pagoda too. I collected all the donations. This building, I also did this. And then everything, I. And the I and the my. Every time I and my. That's what you call egoism. The person always have a strong ego. Always refer to the I and the my. And how do you become more aware of these things? How do you become aware? Aware of this kind of speech. First, this kind of speech. He says, about this kind of ego talking? Huh? Ego talk. How?
Mindfulness.
Do you know? Mindfulness. Just keep silent for a little while like that. Train yourself in mindfulness and try to control the tongue first. When you control the tongue, what happens is the thought goes somewhere else, you know. Your mouth is silent, but in the mind have radio, like the radio still go on. Have you got this experience? Especially those people who go for retreat and they keep noble silence. They keep silent, they don't speak, but still they talk inside. Inside their mind they talk. But it helps you because when you remain silent and you talk less and you keep quiet, then you can hear inside. Huh? People cannot hear, but you can hear better what your mind is talking. And the I and the mind, always these things come out like that. Huh? That's how you can become aware of it. And when you become aware of it, then you should check it. And how to check it, how to overcome it, the only way is through the application of mindfulness. Mindfulness of what? You watch and see. Be mindful of your both, your mind and your body. And then you start, when you calm down your mind, this is what we call developing our mind to understand ourselves. When you calm down your mind sufficiently, you look and you observe this mind, observe this body, and see, what is this I? What am I? You start analyzing and you see. This body, you start to analyze. What is this body made up of? Yes, that's right. This is how the Buddhists analyze the body into basic physical elements. What are these material elements, basic elements? Into earth element. Earth element. What are the earth elements in your body? Bones, hardness. That's where you experience the hardness, bones. And if you analyze your bones, you have calcium, phosphate, and so many other minerals. All those minerals are derived from the earth, and they give rise to hardness. That is what we call earth element. Water element in your body. Do you have water element in the body? You know how much water you have? How many percent? 75. About 75% of your body is made up of water. But some have more, some have less, like that. About that 75%. So when you have water, naturally you sweat, isn't it? The water, some water escape and come out. So you should not worry. If some water come out, you should not get upset. You should not have discomfort like that because it's water coming out from your body. And if you want some more, you drink some more water. Now next one is temperature. Oh, that's what we call fire element. The fire element is the temperature in your body. How much temperature, how much heat have you got in your body? I know some people have more, some people have less. But it is up and down too, you know. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold, like that, can control. If you can control it, it is good enough. Huh? You should not be hot all the time. When you know it is hot, you should know how to cool down. And what is this? What's the temperature? What's the temperature of your body?
98.4.
98.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Or in Celsius? About 37 degrees Celsius, isn't it? 37 degrees Celsius. That's so much of heat that you have in your body, about that amount. But sometimes more, sometimes less, depending. Huh? Then what about the wind element in your body? The gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and some other oxides also. These are the gaseous element in your body. This is what you are made up of. Your body is made up of that, right? And then what else? Your mind. What is this mind about? When we talk about the mind, we talk about feeling process, our feeling process, our perception process, our mental formation, that is to say the thoughts, the ideas, the concepts that we have in our mind, and consciousness process. These four things we call the mind. Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Vedana is feeling. Feeling is not made up of material things. Not made up of matter. It is mental energy. Sanya is perception. Our ability to cognize, our ability to remember, like that, our perception. We can recognize this from that. We can recognize the color. We can recognize shapes, and then your voice, you can know who, because you have what you have learned, what you have conditioned your mind, you can recognize, you can perceive things like that, perception. Then ideas, thoughts that arises in your mind, this is part of your mental process. And consciousness, your awareness there. And this is what, when you start to analyze, when you calm down your mind and you look in and observe, you can see that what you call the I, what you call the mind, what you call this body, this I and mind, is nothing but just these processes, mental and physical processes, and they are continually changing and changing and changing. You cannot stop them from changing. Where is there something that there is the I that does not change? Because we think that there is something that don't change, and that's why we cling to that. In fact, I change to so many things. First, when I talk about myself, I say I, but when you talk about me, you say you, right? When I go somewhere else, another person points out, he say he, so I change to you and to he. Where is the I? I change also. So, when we realize change, that everything in our mind, our body is constantly changing, then we will realize that this body of ours is unsatisfactory. There is, because everything is changing. Where there is change, there is unsatisfactoriness. And anything that is changing, unsatisfactoriness, there's nothing that we can grasp to say, this is mine. That's what the Buddha says. Puttha mati danang mati iti balo vihanyati. What is that? Buddha, this body, he say, this is my child, this is my wealth, Putta mati, Danang mati. This is my child, this is my wealth. Attayatano nati, kuto putta kuto danang. This body I cannot call my own. What more? My child, my wealth. You can contemplate on this. People used to say that this is my child. They claim this is my wealth. The I and the my here. They claim. But the Buddha say, if you look in and see, Attayatano nati, this self I cannot call myself really. So where is my child? Where is my wealth? If this own body I cannot call myself, can you call your body your own? Can or not? Are you the absolute owner of your body? No. Then whose body? Nature. Nature's body. And you see, if you call this body your own, if you own something, if you are the absolute owner of something, you have the full control over it, right? You should have the full control over it. If you don't like certain thing, you should say, go away. You don't like the white hair that appear on your head, you say, go away, but more come to you. You don't like the pain that when you sit down long time, the pain come. You don't like the pain, you say, go away, but more come to you. And yet you say, this is my body. If it is yours, you should be able to have control over it. And now, if you say that this is your building, if you don't like somebody, you can say, please leave like that. You are the owner of this thing. They have to leave. But what about your body? Cannot do that. You have no absolute control. That's why we say you are not the real owner of your body. You know your body are owned by something else also. What? You think only one? When you are eating, you think you are eating alone there? There are many other creatures that are also, sharing the food that you eat. Do you know that? Those people who have worms, if not worms, you have a lot of bacteria, right? There are various kinds of bacteria inside you. And what about the skin? There are some people have fungus growing on the skin, and then sometimes some bacteria too gets into the skin. So, and some people's head got various kinds of, I do not know what lice is it? So you see there are many other creatures that are sharing your body. How can you call your own like that? So this body, if you cannot call your own, you are only the guardian. You guard this body. You look after this body, really. And yet, you claim some other bodies. You claim that he is my child, he is my son, he is mine. This is my thing. But eventually, what happened in the end? What happened to this body in the end? Do you know? What happened? I'm sure you all have attended a number of ceremonies. In the end, they will send us to, I do not know, some sent to Charas, Some sent to where? Huh?
Scenery.
Potting Jaya there, is it? They have. Huh? They send us to the chamber where, they put in the body and it burn. If not, they put us in the soil. Huh? And then you will see what really happened. The earth element in the body, the bones and skin and teeth, when it gets burnt up, they become what? Ashes, right? And then water in the body, where? Evaporate up. The heat in the body evaporate. The wind, the gaseous element also evaporate like that. Goes return to the atmosphere. Huh? How can? But you claim it to be yours. Why you cannot keep all these things? They return to the nature, they return to the environment. For some other people to breathe in, for some other people to drink also. Yes, that's what happened when Bukit Chinawel in Malacca, very famous, all the bodies there and the water collect, and that's why if you go there, that water is very holy, very good water. And because it is the sum total of many bodies. And this is what we are in the end. But because of our ignorance, we claim it to be ours. And that's why we have to pay the price for it. But if we know it is not ours, we will look after it better. We will look after it better. And we don't cling. And this is how you can free yourself from the I and the mind. And when you have no I, no mind, you don't cling the feeling, then your body is painful. Whose pain is that? Yours again. If you say yours, you claim the pain, so you feel the pain. But you must see that feeling is just feeling. Feeling is not yours. If feeling is yours, if the feeling process is yours, if it is truly yours, you must be able to control. You must have absolute control over the feeling. But can you control your feeling? How much can you control it? The pleasant feeling come and then go away. Then unpleasant feeling arise. You cannot control them. You can control little bit, but you cannot have full control of them. Like they are not yours like that. They come and then they go. Come and go like that. You cannot say, hey, wait, stay on. No, cannot. Like those of you who have experience when you meditate, you feel calm, you feel good, and then you want that some more, and then you get a very unpleasant feeling. Pain comes up. Feeling is not yours, it's just a process. And if you can realize that this is not yours, you can give up. You know the highest thing that you can give up? What the biggest thing that you can give up? What? If you can eventually give up this body, while living, don't wait until you die. Your mind can separate like this. Your mind can separate from the body. And you understand that this body is not, there is no real I, no mind, not mind that. And so you just look and see. So when your body, when pain, there is pain in your body. And you don't cling to the pain like that. So your mind is free. This is how you can have free mind. Body is painful, but mind is not painful. Like that. But if you cling to the body, little bit of pain, then your mind becomes very painful too, because you're afraid of losing the body like that. You have a lot of fear to lose the body. But in the end, the body will go somewhere too. Huh? So this is what Buddhism teaches us. Little by little, we can understand more and more about the nature of ourselves. So the whole teachings of the Buddha, we can summarize like this. The more you understand Buddhism, or the more you understand the teachings of the Buddha, the more you will understand about yourself. The more you understand yourself, the more you will be able to understand others better. And that's how you can live in peace and harmony with one another. You have more peace, more harmony with one another. And that because more you understand yourself, the more you will understand that you are nobody. Not only nobody, you are nothing. Because nothing, you cannot keep anything really for long. How long can you keep this body? How long? Some of you can keep for another 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60 years, or 70 years, up to you're 80, or maybe 80, 90 years. How long some more? Cannot keep all the time. You have to give up like that. So if you can, but why give up until the last moment? Last moment, like you are forced to give up. Now you voluntarily give up like that. You can sit there, your body is there, and your feelings, whatever arise, these things that you can, you try to separate. For this, you have to know how to calm down your mind, develop your mind more, so that you can analyze and see the nature. When you see the nature of change, unsatisfactoriness, then your mind will naturally let go of it. Because anything that you see is changing, which is not satisfactory, naturally your mind don't want to cling to. If I tell you, if you want to buy this pen, and I'm a very honest salesman, I tell you this pen is not going to last very long because everything in this pen is changing and it is not very satisfactory. Will you want to buy this pen? You won't want to buy this pen. Naturally you don't want. So the body too. If you see this body is continually changing, one moment become fat, another moment thin, another moment short, one moment tall, after tall again can become short, can or not? You see some people tall and then after that they become shorter like that. So we see the changes in this body. And if you look inside what this body is made up of, from the top of the head right down to the tip of the toes, we analyze and open up this body. If you remove the skin, what do you see in there? You see the connective tissues, white. You see the nerves, you see the veins. Remove the veins, you see the flesh. You remove the flesh, you see the bones. Then inside the bones, you have bone marrow. And then, if you start analyzing your mind, look inside, and then you can see. Very beautiful or not? Beautiful? Very nice or not? All the flies will come. The crows will come like that. That is the nature of the body. Only thing is, because we have the skin and cover over it, and then the skin is also have all kinds of patches, so you cover the skin some more, and then you have various colored clothing, and on top of that you have various kind of foundation, you cover it, you make yourself look good like that. and then you bluff your mind, and then your mind don't see the real thing. Uh, Actually, it is smelly. So what you do when you get the smell, you put some powder, you put some perfume, so that you don't get the real smell. Right? If only you keep the body, and for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days without washing, you can understand the nature of your body. So you can see where is the beauty, see the unsatisfactoriness, and then, but because we cling so much to this body, we are afraid to lose it. Even though they are stones, we are afraid to remove the stone. We have fear like that. Even when we are old, we cannot use this body properly already, but still we are afraid to lose this body. So when you study Buddhism, you know about the nature of life, nature of death, and you know that this life is not the only life that we live, right? If it is old already, you can change to a new one. But you must change to good one. Make sure you change to good one, good, healthy one. And you must, vitamin alone not enough. All those vitamin and all those, what you call food, natural food, only good for this life only. Next life, you need another kind of vitamin. What is that? Your karmic vitamin. Karma, good karma, can lead you to have good bodies, good form. Okay, so I wish you all have. And now that you have understood, you have listened, I hope you will put this in your mind. Those conditions necessary for you to become more wealthy, prosper in this life, to be happy in this life, and also to have happiness in the next life too. And so whatever good you have done in the past and the good actions that you are doing in the present now, by these good actions may you be able to grow in wisdom, grow in compassion, and may you be able with wisdom and compassion be able to make good use of your life. Whatever life that is remaining, that your life will be useful to yourself, useful to others, and you can serve and be able to overcome all suffering in the end. And whatever goodness you do, you can contemplate and think, make your mind happy all the time. And when your mind is strong, you should determine in your mind like this, that you'll be able to further develop and strengthen your mind so that you can overcome whatever obstacle, sometimes whatever unwholesome tendencies that arises in the mind, whatever bad habit, you can check it. And don't be afraid. Sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes this defiling tendency come up. When you find out it has come up, when you become aware of it, you try to check it again and again like this. We all make mistakes again and again, but we should try to improve ourselves again and again. So good health and peace to all of you.